Alright, yeah, welcome back. This is a quick intro or explanation on probability and distributions 5. So we are continuing from what our particle data science with Python. So let's get into it. Alright, so this is the last module in part 1 before we go into other modules. So under foundation. So the setup is based on part 2 to answers formally. So does our data behave the way statistical tests expect? Right. So we'll be looking at a parametric, non-parametric test in module 6 and 7, respectively, and that is a match pair built directly on the distribution concept in this module. So we just want to skim through this particular introductory section on the probability distribution. We'll see what really means, what the probability measures how likely something is to happen on a scale from 0 to 1 that is impossible to certain. The way you do in high school, draw a probability diagram and look at a certain impossible, unlikely, likely, even odds. You understand? So this is what we are familiar with. So a customer both churns and doesn't churn. So certain means the sun rises tomorrow. A coin flip, landscape heads. So that is a even number. So in data science, we really know the true probability exactly. We estimate them from data, e.g., 2 out of our 6 customers churn. So we estimate a 3% churn probability. So that is how we manage in the random variables are discrete and continuous. A random variable is just a numerical outcome we can't predict exactly, but we can describe with probability. We have what they call discrete, and which is a countable, separate values. Can list every possibilities. From our data set, we have what is called number of customers who churn. We have 0, 1, 2, and so on. We have a number of purchases in a day. We have region, which is north, south, east, west. They are all discrete. And we have also continuous variables, all right, which we call continuous, can take any value in a range, infinitely many possibilities. For our data set, we have a purchase amount in dollars. We have age, principal measure in any decision. So these are measurable variables. Okay, we have time between 2 purchases measured in a time frame. So we have these are measurable variables, right? While others are discrete variables. So what is distribution in particular? It describes every possible value a variable can take and how often each occurs. It sounds familiar, right? It should. In module 3, histogram was our first look at a distribution. So we have a real sample here, okay, that we did before, and this idealized distribution approximation, right? The more data you collect, the more your histogram tends to resemble this underlying idealized shape. So the more data, the better it is. Okay, sometimes it looks scanty because less data. So with number distribution, it gives us a symmetric shape. Ideally, the single most important shape in statistics, symmetric, single peaked, and defined by just two numbers. What are the numbers? Mean and STD. Mean, where the peak sits, and STD, how wide it is the curve. You can see the red line here showing us the wideness. The dashed line red show larger standard deviation, same mean, wider, flatter curve. So that's what we have. So that is the sample. Then we have the rule called 68, 95, 97.5. These are mathematical expression actually that is defined using integration, right? So when in integration, we have what is called 1-to-1. You have this from -1. There is a lower bound, one upper bound of an integration. I don't want to be showing the formulas because it's not necessary. So that will give you 68. When you supply lower bound of 2, upper bound of 2, the formula give you 95%, and same thing with this one, give you 7.9. So these are the formulas. So for the number distribution, the same 3% always apply. So roughly 60% of value fall within the one STD and the of the mean, and 95% fall within the two, and so on. So then, or the common distributions that we do have is they're not everything necessarily symmetrically shaped or bell shaped. There are two more patterns worth knowing, which is called binomial and Poisson. The binomial counts the number of successes across a fixed number of independent yes or no trials. If it's happening in our own data, out of our 100 customers, how many churn do we have? Each customer is yes or no trial, and discrete need to input number of trials and the probability of success. So in Poisson, count how many times an event happens in a fixed window of a time or space. So in our own data, we have many purchases happen on a site per hour. So a count with no fixed upper limit. So you can continue to count as many as possible. So this creates need one input, the average rate of the event only. All right. So why this matters, the normal assumption, a lot of statistics is built on educated guess about shape. Many of the most common statistical tests, the one in module 6 we'll be looking at, which is a parametric, assuming your data is roughly normally distributed, at least roughly. When that assumption doesn't hold, then we are move on to module 7, that is, those tests can give us misleading results. So roughly, normally, we will see parametric tests, t-tests, ANOVA, and so on, other built on the normal distribution math, and the module 7 clearly not. Non-parametric tests each is rank-based alternative that make no shape assumptions. So, right? So, does our data look normal? Revisiting the illustrative shape we had before in module 3, what we see, roughly one peak, roughly centered, encouraging, good, not a perfect match to the dash of real sample that we having. Close enough is the judgmental curve. We just introduce a formal test for exact this question. So the dashed red line, the last normal curve overlaid at the same scale, not a statistical fit, just a factual reference. Okay, so what we just rush through now is just an intro to normal distribution and the probability. So probability measure likelihood of from 0 to 1. Random variables can be discrete or continuous. Distribution is the idealized pattern histogram approximate as data grows. So the normal distribution is defined by its means and STD within the range of 65, 68, 95, 97, and 9% rule. For them, within 1 to 3 STDs, and whether your data look normal, decide which part you take, either parametric or non-parametric, which is we're going to be looking at later in the subsequent modules. Thanks so much for listening. I will see you in the next module when we look at practical implementation of normal distribution. Bye for now.